Another half day passed. Dilith's toxicity is up again. Granu doesn't want to take advantage of the snake, but seeing Dilith this time, not only the nostrils, an ear adventure, even his eyes started bleeding. He's a bully, Dilith. I'll help you detoxify, if you don't want to save with me after detoxification. Then cut my wrinkles. With no significant other. Use your own strength to cut through the significant other's longevity lines. Significant other relationships will be dissolved, so another half day passed. After Dilith barely suppressed the toxicity again, 2 wrinkles have appeared on the body. A small gray-black snake. Zhang Yang arrogantly wrapped around Dilith's right thigh, hovering up on Dilith's right collarbone. It's a gray-black and majestic little tiger. Dilith got up again and ate something. Back covered with medicine, still tied with animal skins. It hurts to move the bandage a little bit. But it just happened to give him a little bit of sanity back. He took a breath and walked towards the entrance of the cave. Standing at the entrance of the cave and looking into the depths, I want to see if I can see Telos' figure. The next morning, Telos finally returned. Dilith is just about to be toxic again. Tyros helped Dilith detoxify again. And Kino was outside the cave. The antidote that Tyros brought back. It's a black flocculent like charcoal. I don't know what. After Dilith lost. The toxicity has slowly subsided. But he was puzzled. Obviously he was poisoned by that monster. Why did Tyros say it was a good poison? So Kino also remembered. He took refuge at the entrance of the cave. Don't look inside the cave. Dilith in the arms of Tylos. Finger slightly louder. The stargrass looks a lot like that monster. Just no thorns. Smooth green all over. They usually grow at the bottom of pools of water. In the past, vicious male orcs would take risks to pick this grass, force females to mate with them. But since discovering females can forcibly dissolve after significant other relationships, few orcs go to pick stargrass. So to speak, the monster we encountered, like a mutant of stargrass. Dilith was a little vain. Telos showed a puzzled expression. Nox asked for him what the mutation was. Dilith really doesn't know how to explain. Ultimately, because of this monster, it looks like an upside-down jellyfish. Dilith named this monster the stone jellyfish. Male snakes are very possessive creatures. Used to be because they were very possessive. Always monopolizes females alone, but because of their living habits and other issues. So they don't take care of females. As for snake beasts, they often accidentally raise females to death. Don't ask why only males. The serpent is possessive, because they can't even feed their own females. The offspring are even more pitiful, even if lucky in the few descendants. There's a female, a juvenile female weaker than an adult female. It's easy to be raised to death at birth. Therefore, the female snake beast has almost no... Dilith is a beast. She is the only painted female snake beast. And Tylos' possessiveness, no less than other snake beasts. Although to save Dilith's life, let Kino and Dilith become attached. But for an orc who can't even protect females. Still don't like it at all. What's more, the little snake doesn't like Kino. So Telos will not stay. The second significant other about the snake, clearly written on the face. This Telos ruthlessly swept Kino away with his snake tail. Goalkeeper outside the cave. Because of the injury, Dilith's clothes were torn apart by himself. To the point where it is absolutely unwearable. And the medicine on Dilith's back cannot take the form of a beast. I can only lie naked in the cave. Telos goes out this time. He also hit a Ziwan beast. Feed Zijin to Dilith. Most of Dilith's injuries healed quickly. It's almost gone. Telos from anti-aging. Take out a piece of its own snake leg. A drilled fish bone. Tear off a strand of one's own hair. Wave for Dilith to come over. Dilith doesn't know, so. And Telos kind of pander. He rubbed her head again. I want to open my snake leg nails. You don't cover your trench coat. If not for male orcs. There can only be one significant other, Dilith. You must think that Tyros is a master of flowers. But a while, Tylos made a wide-shouldered vest. Easy to wear and take off, perfectly covered his wrinkles. It fits well. Does not affect the action at all. Dilith loves the Telos craft. What little girl doesn't like to be pretty? But Dilith is embarrassed to ask for it for nothing. Telos stuff. Although they are significant others. But Dilith apparently hasn't adjusted to the relationship yet. So in exchange, Dilith pulled out her pure black snake leg. Picked the best piece of the elephant and gave it to Telos. He pointed to the remaining snake legs. Pointed to his crotch. Slightly pale little thin lips half bite half a meter. The coquettish intention is very strong. I want a long one. Telos did it very neatly. The skirt looks simple. The desired width is sewn up on both sides. Dilith tried it. It is the type with thin waist and wide hips. This split-ended tight skirt is worn on the body. Perfectly highlights his figure. But the split design, it gave him a little more seductive tone. Overall very satisfied. Dilith thought it was the most boring in his life. The sexiest time, Dilith hugged Telos and gave a hard kiss. Went to bed happily. Telos did not accept Dilith's snake leg, but with his snake legs, I made many more clothes for him, even under Dilith's description. Made 2 21st century women's flat corners. The tiring day of underwear is finally over. Midnight Map Mountain shake. Dilith wakes up. Hang it up to check the situation. Telos pressed him again. Telos comes out of the cave. Kino, the goalkeeper, already standing on the top of the cave observing the situation. They were in a cave halfway up the mountain. You can roughly see the situation deep in Donggu Forest. The beast deep in the forest doesn't know why. Suddenly gathered in the middle of the night, run out of the forest quickly. Dillis told Kino to wait patiently. He went down the mountain with Telos to check the situation. These beasts don't seem to be migrating on purpose. They ran out of options and knocked down the surrounding trees, even Stampede. Where the beast has passed, the remains of plants and beasts are everywhere. It's like an escape. There was a ding in the sky. Dillith saw it again. The same kind of bird and beast as yesterday. It's just that this bird beast has fingerprints. He screamed miserably. There are many birds and beasts behind. Let's fly out of the forest together. Is it in the forest? Something terrible happened. Let the beasts run wild? Look in the direction the beasts are fleeing. This terrifying thing is likely to appear in the south. Nox couldn't help but remember the one I met in the pool during the day. Giant man-eating jellyfish. Underwater beast roommate. But Kino I have never heard of such an evil creature. He had a bad feeling about this. Hold on. The Oak tribe is just north of the eastern forest. It's exactly the direction the beast is going. And Dearest thought of that. Intuition tells Delis Oak that it's probably doomed. As a member of the Oak, he should go back and help Oak. But in the days of joining Oak, Dillith was not so happy. Orcs of the Oak, they don't really accept Dillis. Dillith didn't live in Oak's house for nothing. Chief Oak also took a green whale from Telos. Lots of prey with Delis. Dylith has no interest in being the virgin, but Kino is a native orc of Oak. He shouldn't care. But now Nox has traveled with Dillis. Telos is Dillith's significant other. Love and reason. Nox should stick to his significant others first. Listen to the significant other Telos. Morally struggling Kino was anxious. He looked in the direction of Oakbrook from time to time. Telos made a quick decision. Dropped a protective snake and left the cave. To the damp source. Except that the forest looks eerie at night. Everything seems to be fine. Traveled a while. Telos suddenly stopped and spat out snake nature. Dense forest. A big hole has been washed out by the moisture. Blend with the night. Dark like the bloody mouth of some kind of monster. Has strange powers, a force higher than Haven. Tylostin will turn around and head for the cave. Tyros briefly explained the situation. Nox became more anxious. Telos, please stay and protect Elise. Is Kino going to save Oak? Dilly sighed slightly. This is not Kino, so don't forget Kino's feelings for Oak. I don't comment on Nox's decision on this matter. How sloppy is it? Although I really want to stop Kino. But he knew that if he stopped him at this moment, what will really happen to Oak in the future? Nox will blame himself for the rest of his life. Let's go together. Dylith walks out of the cave. Nox was moved by Dillith's justice. His mind is getting stronger. I will swear to protect Dillis from now on. Telos watching the snake interact with the stupid tiger. The tale is taut again. When I arrived at the Oak tribe, it was dawn. The house was crushed to pieces. The remains of trampled orcs are everywhere. The strong smell of blood filled Delis's nose. Just a few hours. The Oak tribe was razed to the ground. No one is spared. The cold-blooded snake beast Dylith saw this scene wild. I can't help but feel sad. His eyes were red with anger. Digging frantically among a pile of corpses, when the body of Pian's Krona was finally found. He growled in grief. The earth shakes again. Don't give Delis time to react. Telos threw Dillis on his back, grabbing Kino in one hand and running north. What happened to Tyros? Higher levels of dampness are coming. The speed of the gray snake beast is not covered. Dillis felt the extreme wind around her. Shave his face, in the process of running away with Dillis. They also encountered other orcs. Dillis is worried about her identity being exposed, turned into human form in advance, and draw out the remaining snake legs. A rectangular bag. He covered up the level beast pattern of his neck. Although they went north like the beast's nest. But since being in Dongu, the forest encountered the beast's nest. After, they have never seen other beast nests with their own eyes. The further north you go, fewer places are ravaged by beast nests. Look at this trace. It seems that the beasts are in the right place. Separated again. As for where they will end up, that's outside the scope of Dillis's concern. Nox is in the sad news of the loss of tribes and loved ones. Pain for 2 days. After Dillis began to show irritability and discomfort, then his pain seemed to quietly slip away. Nox just noticed, I have ignored Dillis these days. I feel very guilty. If I hadn't seen Kino lose his sister. Dillis deliberately appeased Telos again. Telos has long wanted to use his tail. They don't know how to take care of significant others. East Kino Forest to the north. It's a big grassland. It is the time for the handover of the strictly prohibited and the strictly prohibited warm climate. The grassland is full of green grass carp. Colorful words mixed with the fragrance of soil. Dillis felt that her entire snake life was beautiful. Of course, beauty is just for a moment. Tyros puts the humanoid Dillis down. He immediately turned into a snake, began to roll and twist and crawl on the ground unbearably. Guyong even tried to burrow into the ground like an earthworm. Loosen the soil for crops. Telos, carrying Dillis to the river like hemp rope. Dillis sneaked in. Sink to the bottom of the lake and start rolling and twisting and crawling again. Drill through the cracks in the stone. Uncomfortable. Uncomfortable anywhere. Very uncomfortable. Even his chest and lower abdomen were swollen. It even hurts a bit at night. He's going into heat. Telos has a better sense of smell than any orc. The smell of Dylith. It's getting sweeter these days. Telos couldn't resist several times. suddenly stopped on the way, chose Dillith out of Nox's sight. She reached out and licked Dillis, but never did anything to break the bottom line. Dillis is like a little girl who comes out. She doesn't know anything. I only know the silly invitation to Telos. Said his injury was healed long ago. Telos doesn't have to hold back. Telos Che refused. Wait until Dillith's rut is over. Females mate before they're fully mature. Very harmful to the body. I had to miss it once. Can't hurt the snake a second time. So when I first met Telos, why did Tyros only force? The reason why Dylith slept with her, just find Dillis. He was so moved by Telos. But Telos had the idea of slapping Kino to death again. This mentality, it's like a ground pig took a fancy to one. Good cabbage carefully cared for, ready for the day he matures. Carefully arch off this little cabbage. However, in the blink of an eye, the little cabbage was cheated by another stupid pig. Injured. The ground pig had to pay for that stupid pig's mistake. You have to wipe your butt to save the cabbage. With this stupid pig. I really want cabbage, but I can't think about it. The more I think about it, the more I feel that Kino is an eyesore. Sinks to the bottom. Telos also turned into a snake and sank to the bottom. Snake touches face. The body slides by. Dilith has particularly sensitive skin. Yes, Dillith had a shiver. There are other departments one after another. The fleeing orcs came to the creek to drink. Dylith took human form at the bottom and crawled out of the water. Big rock trail is coming, and the next days of walking on the prairie. This is for the shade-loving snake. It was a disaster. Dillith's mood is more irritable. People rolling on the ground. The smell of rot on him is very strong, and unscrupulously splashed on the ground. The orcs around him couldn't help but look at him frequently. Telos is half submerged in water, half lying lazily in the bushes by the shore. Sweep the orcs one by one. The orcs who stole Jadillis had a cold war. Never look at Dillith again. Serpents hate fire, although Dillis can also eat raw meat. But Kino couldn't bear it. Heart makes Dillis in such a difficult rut. It's not good to eat, so I took the initiative to take over the job of preparing 3 lunches for sale. There are more animals in Winson on the grassland, so Kino doesn't need to transform, easily replenish rich prey with humanoid form. The fire is up. Kono is busy. The sun at noon is so congested, Dillis uses both hands and feet, climb to the furthest point from the fire. On the way, I was tired of being eaten several times by a long skirt dressed as a dog. But Dillith is a strong female. Immediately get up again and go to the river, as far away from the fire as possible. She was lying by the river. Telos threw his body into the river. Only his head is exposed outside. This will cool him down a lot. Bold orc. I still don't give up and want to get close to Dillis. Swatted far away by Telos. Dillis is in a bad mood and has no time to worry about it. There are also many females by the river. Females do not discriminate. The release date is the same. The sweet female taste coils on both sides of the river. It made many orcs restless. The powerless orcs were out of sight and left as soon as possible. Most of the orcs who fled had some strength. They stayed, in exchange for protecting the female. Take the opportunity to pursue a female Geru. With luck, can also become the first male beast of the female. It is the female who is beautiful by being rich and a long-lived female like Dillis. Few orcs can accept. They think they're too skinny to reproduce. It is not easy to survive the severe cold season. But there are also discerning orcs. It can be seen that although Dillis is thin, but the body is full of muscles. Actually healthier than the average female. Female for you. A big wheat-colored hand, holding a huge grain of rice. Put it in front of Dillis. Exactly, a giant grain of rice larger than a male's palm. Dillis brushed it, bounced it up, and took the rice grain. Telos quickly turned Millie, snatched it from Dillis. Throw it back to the orc. Dillis stared at Telos mournfully. I want to get Millie again. The little snake doesn't understand. To accept a male's gift is to accept his hobby. Telos is helpless, but the little snake wants to follow the little snake, of course. So Telos threw the orc a winged scarf. In exchange, the orc just wanted to decline, swatted away by the tail of Telos. No chance of rejection at all. Wrong overbearing snake beast. Dylith looked at this. Rice grains. He is crystal clear and oval in the sun. Hard appearance, but yes, you can still pick out a small piece. Dillis scraped together the money and sniffed it. It does taste like modern rice. He opened his mouth and took a bite. Boom. Did Dillis show up? Pull your tongue and teeth out of the grain of rice. I don't know how many times harder than modern rice. He licked his uvula. Take the rice grain and smash it hard on the ground. It's really hard, yet unscathed. This world, there is still rice that snakes can't break. Dillis, when I was about to hit him with all my might. Kano saved the rice in time. Dillis, do you want to eat it? Dillis chick pecks rice. This is ginkgo. The outer skin is very hard when raw. Even the purple orcs have to work hard to bite it. But when cooked, it will become very soft and big. It really does sound like modern rice. Dilith barely. Forget about being uncomfortable. As long as you are interested, I watched Kino find a big rock. Chisel a pot on site, put water, put rice and cook over heat. Another day's walk. We will encounter a small tribe cooking in the emptiness. Nox said, Dillis does want to join the tribe. But Telos used to teach him the knowledge of the Holy Mercy. He still decided to join a big tribe. Comparative insurance. Go to Nuxer. Telos decides directly. Dillis, where's Chinook? Kino for the taciturn Tyros cop. The Ruxers are the largest tribe on the continent. I heard that there are only females in the tribe. There are more than 5,000. Luxor is indeed a good choice. But going to Nuxor, we have to travel non-stop for at least half a month. You're about to go into heat. Why don't you take a few days off? Delis shook her head decisively. Even if you want to rest, you can't rest now. He looked up at the sky. Here is the endless grassland. About to enter the university again. Remember not to wait until noon. The sun has just risen for a while. Delis has already started. I can't stand this dry and hot climate. Cook well. Dilith still refuses to come out of the water. Dilith doesn't want to come out. Telos doesn't want to come out either. Can you enjoy life a little more? Kino simply mixed roasted meat and cooked ginkgo. Move to the river. Dilith took the lead in picking up Nike ginkgo. Break half of it down and take a big bite. While gnawing, he handed the remaining ginkgo to Kino and Telos. As a result, the two beasts shook their heads. Dilith was stunned for a moment. The mouth reluctantly chewed 2 mouthfuls of ginkgo. Really like rice. It's really delicious. It feels like being in Kent. Large rice Kino pulp. The ginkgo is moderately soft and hard, and we ate. There is also a feeling of chewing on handmade steamed buns. Pretty chewy. The human gene was triggered in Dillis. He swallowed the rice in his mouth, biting her lower lip, based on the principle of family sharing. Against my will, I asked again, do you really not eat? Do not eat. Tyros touched Dillis's little face. Kino smiled and shook his head. Only females like these vegan fruits. Dillis will be suspicious of sex and cut off the ginkgo. Squint your eyes and be satisfied. Then he reluctantly ate them all. Females eat much less than males. And that's because females don't turn sexual. They don't need a lot of energy themselves to survive. But Dilith is different. Precisely because he can change sex. It requires more energy to hunt and survive. So he eats as much as the males do. Grilled rabbit with ginkgo in one hand. I have to say that Kino's cooking is really good. Even if they don't have salt right now. Kino can also roast good meat. Maybe it's the incendiary material. This barbecue also has a touch of fruit and grass in it. And Chantilly ate. Little do you know, the calm river behind him quietly rippled. Telos suddenly tails. Arch Dilith to the shore. Dillis almost drowned in midair. Nox caught Dillis quickly. Just saw the situation of the river clearly. Telos' body. It's like being held by something. Suddenly sinks. Then he jumped out again. Seems to have escaped the power of that thing. However, when Dilith lands, his gaze was right on Telos' tail. His tail doesn't know when. Entangled with aquatic plants, just as Telos was about to jump ashore. The aquatic plant suddenly shrank. Not only does it bind Telos, he also pulled Tyros hard into the water. Telos is shorter, but the strength of the snake-smelling beast is unthinkable. Telos flicks his tail in the air. The water plants around his tail. Sheng was pulled ashore by his company. When Telos lands, it's already a long way from the river. However, the aquatic plants do not give up, pester Telos to his neck. It seems to entangle his whole snake. The distance that the surrounding orcs have long descended. The corpse by the river is far away. Step back, and I watched in horror as this happened. What's going on? Why does the grass still move? And look at the situation. It will also consciously harm the orcs. Delis and Kino run over. Help Telos tear the aquatic plants. Telos directly turned into a beast and opened his scales. The water plants that were wrapped around her were cut to pieces. Never move again. Dilith couldn't help but think of the corpse in the pool again. Talk about it. When the jellyfish jumped up to eat the bird. Is there a thick tendon attached at the bottom? He can't remember. I can't remember anything. Or maybe it's just Dilith's baffling hallucination. Are plants so lethal in the beast room? Dilith miner for 2 years. Living in the burning places of the eastern forests. It's just that he was in the forest at that time. But I lived there for 2 years, right? He's never seen anything move. Plants that kill trees? But look at this pile that still has green knights. The last lesson also tried to strangle the aquatic plants of Telos. Now this is completely ridiculous, and for good reason. Dilith picked up one of them. The dead ones are not so sparse aquatic plants. Crap. It has broken away from the willfulness of normal aquatic plants. He's using force. It takes a little effort to tear apart the beast nest. The aquatic plants that move with the stone beast jellyfish. The recent string of strange things. Let every beast have a murmur in his heart. Telos is ready to go into the water again. Telos didn't want him to risk it. But Tyros just turned around and threw up on him. Tail him away from the creek. After pushing, he went into the water firmly. None of the orcs left this place. Maybe waiting for Tyros to find out something. They also have a bottom line in their hearts. Males have always been responsible orcs. Will not be held back by a little thing. If not, they are all mainland orcs. They will also be with Tylos at this time. Go into the water to the tea altar. Telos wanted to follow. On the one hand, Tylos wouldn't let him. On the one hand, so many real-world friends are watching. Dillis can't expose her torture fate. So I just had to wait. 2 lives are eating lunch absent-mindedly. Nox handed the stone pot for boiling ginkgo to Dillis. There is water. Dillis does not wash too hot temperature. The water is just warm now. Dillis took a few sips from the grass suction cord. Dillis and Nox are alert at the same time. A quick jump away and a backhand slap. Dilith fit. I saw Kino pressing one under his half-animal fox paw. Struggling plant rhizomes will not work. This place can't stay. Even if all 3 of them are high-level orcs. It's not hard to beat some plants. But things are so weird. Dillis went to the river and called out Telos. Nox simply packed their luggage. The beasts are leaving when they see such a high-level orc. So they packed up and left just to be on the safe side. Currently encountered, they are all plants that are easier to clean up. But who can guarantee? Not the next moment, a few monsters more outrageous than Grey appear. Telos also knew the seriousness of the matter. Forget the hostility to Kino. Transform into half-animal, carrying Dillis, rolling up the Kino on the prairie. As long as you are full, the endurance of the snake beast is still considerable. I drove for 2 days and a night without sleep. The 3 beasts in the middle only stopped and quickly ate some raw meat. At night, Telos stops. In just 2 days, Telos is tired from long hours. It was directly dehydrated and shrunk. The fundus of the eyes is also bloodshot. The 3 beasts quickly ate something again. This time it's Dillis and Delos. Lying on Kino's back, Nox travels overnight. Telos' level is much lower. As a result, his stamina was much worse than Tyros's. It's been a day and a night. Nox's stamina has reached its limit. Dillis, you can feel his body burning horribly. This is a precursor to the sudden death of the tiger beast. Dillis, tell Kino to stop. 3. The beast ate something again. This time Dillis turned into a beast and had to take the 2 beasts on their way. Nox and Tylos both had strange expressions. Dillis narrowed her snake eyes and was very unconvinced. What did she want to do? Do you despise kissing? Kino can last a day and a night. He can at least eat for half a day. Dilith gave an awesome roar. It is rare for Tylos to grasp the arc of the corner of his mouth. Half a snake curled up in Dilith's upper body. The snake's tail is still dragging on the ground. Deliston crashed into the grass with a thud. Okay, got it. Just treat him to a soft meal, bosses. Nox thanks Dillis, somewhat mistaken by his excessive talent. Directed, not, whoever becomes an adult can become an orc. Dillis is a genius among geniuses. Like Kino, Dillis may not really understand. Nox told him, what is the concept of being a Lanwin for 3 years? Dillis is only 2 years old, and that's the concept. Nox's age, I don't know how many 3 years there are, if you really want to count. Nox estimate ratio, Telos is not much younger. What about Telos, if he had just become an adult? So now, Tyros expects to see him again. His own grandson. Highwind is no joke. Dilith is therefore concerned about the age of the orcs, and Strength has a new understanding. He kept climbing up Telos' vest. Andrew is enjoying Telos. Rotating service with Kino, who said that with greater ability comes greater responsibility. Dillis thinks kissing is not low. But who let him in, his little, is the home still at the bottom? Can't take responsibility, can't take a little. Dillis wrapped around Telos' waist. The snake follows Tylos. The tail is hanging on the ground playing the game of dragging the tail. Occasionally turn over and take off another face. The little days on the road are full and leisurely. The estrus period of waiting has finally come. Just like the modern girl's menstruation. The only difference is that during the process of coming, uncomfortable waist is sore. My stomach hurts. The chest is distended and painful, even where it bleeds. It is also a general pain to fall off. The rest is sore all over. The 3 beasts stopped. Dillis has long put herself round into a snake handle. Telos cut off a snake leg. Spread press cotton on top. Tied to the spot where Dilith bled. Tied tightly, Dilith's upper body took human form. Despair screams of pain. It hurt so much that he rolled back the handle of the snake. Tyros carefully hung him on the stalk of Dillis' brain. The bag is buried in Telos' hair and secretly weeps. Are the estrus of sighted females that strong? So Telos punched Kino again. Dilith just found out. In fact, the female estrus does not hurt. Just because he's not quite there yet. Married when mature. Of course it's very possible. And food. Those toxins produced by the jellyfish. The first day of release, Dillis feels like she has been touched. The whole snake is so painful that it can't be torn out. Kino and Telos George are distressed. Going to give up tonight? To Dillis, find a comfortable place to sleep on the grassland. They take turns giving Dillis the front page. Just to restore my strength. The next day I'm on my way again. Rest at night. Dillis by Tillisby. And Cano of Lanvin. Act more efficiently. So almost 80% of the time along the way. It's Telos on his way. And in order to reach Nuxor as soon as possible. Telos has been going full speed ahead. The end result is, they spent half a month, from Oak to Nuxor. Telos, the smelling snake beast. Forcibly because of the rush. Indicates a big loss of weight. The skin was also sunburned by the vicious sun of Yuejian. Dillis doesn't say it's fake to be moved. Telos, it goes around the outer part of the boreal forest. This is to avoid encountering beasts. Postpone their arrival. To the boreal forest. You can see nuke color from a distance. It was noon, the hottest time of day. The big study has begun. Nuxor is worthy of the entire master continent. The largest tribe, the entire tribal city is surrounded by huge stones. The height of the fence is longer than Dilith's serpentine. Wait until Dillis and the others arrive at their destination. Dozens of them have been surrounded at the gate of the tribe. High-level orcs in combat mode. Headed by a Yuan clan Dili. Can you guarantee this is him from time immemorial? The first face I saw, orcs who resemble the eastern nations. The amount is not high. The muscle is moderate. Other carnivorous continental orcs are overly robust. He doesn't look like he's 30 years old. Hair is long. Li Shunho casually draped behind him, wearing a robe made of animal skins. Since Dillis saw him, he just kept that gentle smile on his face. Give the animal a good feeling. Yensho glanced at the 3 beasts. Eyes on Dillisbury. The snake in the stalk stopped for a short time. Then he swept towards Kino. Nox is now in human form. Yunshu's gaze stopped on his longevity pattern. And finally Telos. The eyes of longevity extension are fixed on his longevity pattern, quickly and naturally. The smile of longevity is friendly, but Dillith suddenly has a kind of... I'm afraid it's the feeling of a smiling tiger. Guests from the flat road. What brings you to the Nook's tribe? Sure enough, he speaks softly. It feels very comfortable and reliable. The power of the world is king. Territory is inviolable. Suddenly I met such a humane orc. Let Dillith's heart be close to the masterpiece. The milder he is, the more vigilant Dillith became. The orcs behind life. The discussion has already started. Dillith saw that most of them were above the green text. He climbs down from the tail of Telos. Hello. My name is Dillis. Are you the leader of the Nuxa tribe? My name is Hutulu. What race of female snakes are you? These two are my significant others. This is Kino, he is Telos. The beasts are obviously not calm. The female of the snake clan, always cold-blooded, cruel serpent. Can you actually raise a female well? Not necessarily well-raised. You see, this female is as white as a skinny one. Only the skeleton remains. Sorry, crustacean doctor. 5 days of release really suffered a lot. For protection against those strange plants. So they moved a little bit faster along the way, eating less and being overworked. Not just Delise. Connor and Tylos are like this too. In the hands of Hutulu, we used to be East, orcs of the Forest Oak tribe. Half a month ago, the Oak tribe was bullied by a tide. Razed to the ground, me and my significant others were out hunting. Just escaped the moisture. To gain the trust of the leader, Dillis gave a general account of what happened along the way. Just passing by the weird plants. Listen to Dillith's story. Nox looked a little lonely. Hutulu listened to Dillis's explanation. Did not agree immediately. He smiled inside at Telos. The serpent in sex is significant, and the other is powerful. But the serpent is a solitary beast. Can you guarantee that after he joins the tribe, won't you do something to hurt your clan? I can guarantee it, in hand if. Telos could not live in peace with his tribe. I won't have it either, Kino, the Oak tribe. As the other significant. You see, they get along very well. Telos stood quietly behind Dillis. The tails can't help but tighten. There is no way to be allergic to creosote, and eventually, of course, successfully joined the Nuxer tribe. However, the cost of joining a large tribe is tremendous. First, Telos turned in a blue whale. Secondly, Hutulu told Dillis. The building of tribes requires the participation of all recipients. And the tribe has rules. Every family, at least in Dayan, remember the rejuvenation and the hunting of the Korean game, contribute half the male's strength. Dilith's significant others are strong. What collective activities did the tribe have afterward? Dilith's significant other, of course, is according to the rules. Dillis can still understand the involvement. After all, let's be honest, if it's just male life, they don't need such an exquisite life at all. Orcs can regulate their own body temperature. The salt we usually need. All you need is raw meat and blood. If it weren't for feeding the females, they don't need to change the salt and so on. It's all for the females. The 3 beasts have successfully joined the Nuxa tribe. Although the cost of joining is quite high, but the service provided is really good. Not to mention their walls and patrols. Just saying that if you join a tribe, you will have a house. Trees are planted around the house. This thing is used to resist the temperature of large rock marks. Dillith was severely bribed. They were led by an orc to pick a house. Because Dillis and Telos are both snake beasts. Celebrate. So they picked food that had a lot of trees. Dillis and her party had very little luggage. Can't say not at all. The only few clothes and cotton. It's all in the anti-aging of Telos. So the 3 beasts and 2 sleeves easily moved into their new home. Dillith doesn't care if she has a bed or not. How hard is the floor? Just fall asleep. But when you are down to earth and know how to enjoy it, without a bed, of course it is more comfortable to sleep in a mosquito coil. Telos is the main coolie on this journey. The whole snake is already very tired. Nox thought Tylos was going to rest. He suggested that he go out hunting and let the 2 snakes rest. As a result, Tyros refused to go hunting by himself. Kino was taken aback at first, then finally reacted to what? Telos is getting ready to mate with Delise. Dilith moving to a new home. Slept until noon the next day. The whole snake is stretched straight, stretching refreshingly. This turned into a human form. I ended up smelling a stench. Turns out she hasn't showered in 10 days. In addition to the hot weather during the hot season, every day on the road I get covered in stinky sweat. Liz could smoke herself to death thinking about it. He quickly got dressed. Telos had turned into a beast and slept beside him. See Dillith get up, raise the snake's head and spit out the snake's temperament. As a result, Dillis ran out in a hurry. Knokno Telos. The snake's nature froze, and there was an extremely dim light in the tree barrel. Kino, who just stepped on a pile of fruit and came back. It was thrown out of the yard by a snake and a horse. Telos' upper body turns into a circle. Leisurely paddled out. Dillis doesn't have time to talk to Kino, who was thrown violently. He turned around and grabbed Telos again. Where's the water in Tylos? I want to take a shower. The next second, I feel like I'm trying to ask a loner. Overbearing and unsociable snake. Where can I take a bath in the tribe? That would be so wrong. He didn't believe in such a large tribe. More than 5,000 females. You have to run dozens of miles in the shower, outside of regional tribes. He's not afraid to let the beast arch him. So he shook off Telos. He quickly rushed towards the tribe. Met a female on the road. Dilith's eyes suddenly widened. Put the ice-cut silver together, where can I take a shower? Small magnetism. She was startled by Dilith, who suddenly came up. Good guy is as thin as a ghost. Especially when exposed to Dilisna, obviously. When the eyes of the orchard are too large, it's shaking harder. A smelly wind. The little magnet pinches its nose. The eyebrows are almost squeezed together. His significant other pulled him behind him. Dilith doesn't know, so... Is he that scary? Cold-blooded serpent? Dilith barely squeezed out an aggrieved expression. However, he looks like this. It's even more fierce in the eyes of the little magnet. Dilith blinked. Maggie didn't say a word. He walked away with his head bowed in disappointment. Does everyone hate snake beasts so much? He's very friendly. That Dilith brushed her head to reveal a smile that thinks it's very friendly. Just this expression. On the snake beast's face, it looked a little gloomy. Just tested. Shoutsy's heart trembled again. Points in one direction. There is a river over there with a thin voice. Dilith ran away happily. Upstream city snake has run away. The little female doesn't know if she should finish speaking. There's a river over there where the males bathe. The meat embroidery caught up. The wind ruffles the little female's hair. Small magnetic and significant other. I can't blame Dilith for the polarity of this family. Dilith lived in the wild for 2 years. She only knows that as long as there is water in the shower. Who can know? The bathing places in the tribe are also divided into male and female. So when Dilith rushed to the creek, and the child thinks, when cleverly looking for clean water upstream, I saw a down, tall triangular man bathing in the river. Dilith stood unkempt by the river. I don't know what's going on, so I've been staring at people blankly. Like a hooligan. Although the muscles are bursting, but it looks like an adult bear. The facial features are delicate and immature. Black, slightly curly hair up to the shoulders. There is also a white hair hidden in the bangs, and Lower is also stupid. She's an adult today. Transformation is to paint novelty and turn into a human shape. Run to the river to experience the feeling of taking a bath in a humanoid shape, and her cheeks went red. He turned around. Cover the place where the girl likes to see. I want to turn around and remind Dilith what. And then I saw Dilith with big eyes. Staring at him without blinking. Then the eyes get addicted. Noel exclaimed out a hopeless aging. There was a splash in the river. Telos arrived just in time. Put a hand over Delisa's eyes. The location of the crime of the agent of his own cabbage is wrong. My little snake needs a bath. Telos folded back and his tail flapped away. Cleaned up reasonable clutter, then gently put Dilith in. Dilith looked dumbfounded. That male just now? Telos smiled and left. And in the sky a black hawk screamed away. There seems to be a tuft of white hair growing on the head. That doesn't seem right. But Dilith didn't bother to care so much. I soaked myself in the water and took a beautiful bath. Take a bath. No need for soap cheeks or something. You can wash it very clean. After a while, Dilith was washed and climbed up. Telos. I thoughtfully brought her a change of clothes. A small vest exposed. A small skirt that reaches the middle of the thigh. If you turn it around, you can still bloom. And a pair of small pants. Clothes made of snake legs are cool to wear. Of course, the pants are also very cool. Teros looked at himself. Small clothes made of snake legs. Was pierced between the legs by Dilith. Dark eyes. Dilith flipped her hair. Walking out happily. Don't forget to free up one hand to take Telos away. As a result, as soon as I pulled my hand, I was yanked away violently. Fall into a cold embrace. Telos's tail is tight, wrapped around Dilith's lower body. Mouth, gag her mouth. Snake nature goes in. Then rolled Dilith into the tongue. Wait, even though he can breathe freely underwater. But not in broad daylight. Telos doesn't care about that, and wrapped Dilith tightly with the snake's tail. This time he can finally press Dilith's tail. Rub him in your arms. When Dilith realized, when he had been killed by Telos. He finally stopped struggling. Settled. Carpe diem. Enjoy yourself. But who can tell him? Why is the snake's festival a day and a night? Janway is also a day and a night. In the middle of the night, Dilith was carried back. Telos had him entangled again. Until the next afternoon. Tylos just ended the mating. By this time, Dilith had not eaten for 2 days. Dilith is incredibly grateful. Eat a snake every 2 days. 1 tube for 2 days is acceptable. Telos is a perverted mating time. Otherwise, 9 lives will not be enough for him. Dilith woke up with a hungry stomach growling. When I opened my eyes, a black and red snake head. Park above him. Snake apricots licked Dilith's face. Dilith rubbed her tongue and got out of bed. When she got out of bed, Dilith jumped up cleverly. Looking down at the bed under my feet. Don't look, it's just a pile of soft licorice piled together. The comfort of dropping the pile is still a test of technology. Soft enough, thick enough, big enough. Think about how many years I haven't slept in a soft bed. Dilith was so moved by this grass bed. Great hero of ZZ. Let me see which craftsman is so good. Telos reluctantly admits. The bed is Knotzo's. It's Kino barbecuing in the yard. When Dilith goes out, Kino didn't know what he was thinking. The barbecue in my hand is almost buried in the fire. It's been a day and a night. Nox lost his soul and wants Teros to be strong. Heart care can save Dilith's life, and he happens to be the opposite. Weak Lenbin, or the careless orc saved by Dilith. Dilith would actually look down on him in her heart, right? He has a good male like Teros. I shouldn't look at myself again. Nox suddenly felt, I'm such a greedy orc. I was just going to protect Dillis for the rest of my life. Now he is greedy for Dillis to like him. No, greed is enough for now. Dillis takes the starting position. Then a launch, jump to Kino's back. The upper arms gripped his neck tightly. Usum fights the tiger. Nox was caught off guard. He was brought to the ground under the force of Driss. Delise wrapped her legs around him. Lock it directly to Kino. Nox's mood suddenly improved. He laughed heartily and threw the barbecue away. A rollover pressed Dillis under her. I was just about to pay Dillis for playing around. As a result, it was pumped out by the python's tail again. Uncle Snake is too jealous. What should I do if I always engage in domestic violence? It's urgent to wait online. Luckily, I didn't beat him. Dillis ran back. Wrap your hands and feet around Telos. Slap him in the face. Gently and quietly protect his face with saliva. Kino, don't blame us for snubbing you. Are we saving your life? May Waikenu turn his feet to the sky and giggle. That's great. Dilith cares about him. This is the Assembly of Tribes. Every family has to have a member. Go to the square in the tribal center to meet. Dilith is interested in this collective activity. They keep their enthusiasm high, so he had a leg of lamb. He went to the square with Tylos while eating. Kino, I consciously left the two of them alone. Stay at home, you can't row. The biggest advantage is that you can't walk by yourself. Of course Dillis would love to be a rice worm. He came down from the arms of Tyros, holding a leg of lamb the length of an arm. Eat and walk. Exactly, and one hand was holding a leg of lamb the size of an arm. You can easily swing the leg of lamb around. Lore on the first day of duty inspection, Dillis looking at the ground. From his exit to the square, Dillis gnawed on a leg of lamb at the speed of light. Lori is shocked. Is this a female too? Telos pulls out another leg of lamb from anti-aging. Dillis continues to eat. Lal began to doubt himself. Females are not delicate. Do you have a small appetite? Father really didn't lie to him, right? Lore landed uneasily in the crowd. Landed not far from Dillis as a freshman. His eyes can't be set yet, looking at the leg of lamb in Dillis's hand. It turns out that Sakura with white hair on her head is him. Dillis devoured a mouthful of lamb. See Lore still staring at him. He wore a face full of oil and water. Stare back without pressure. A certain eagle pursed his lips and frowned, silently shifting his gaze. Be sure to ask him what kind of female he is later. The main purpose is to avoid lightning. A dark patch in the square. Dillis is just an adult. He hasn't grown up yet. Poor 1.8 meters. Among a bunch of males, it belongs to the existence that is easily trampled. He looked around. Sighs. Many females are dragged by males on their shoulders. Watch the fun Dillis bullshitting Telos. Dilly. C is wearing a long ankle-length skirt today. Inconvenient to split legs, so he sat on the right shoulder of Telos. Right hand holding the leg of lamb, left elbow resting on top of Telos's head. As a center of gravity support, watching the hustle and bustle, he had a whim, and he wanted to pat Telos on the head. A little higher, a little higher. Telos does it silently. And then there's a little bit of it propped up on the ground. Dillis looked around. Very good view. Even the air is exceptionally fresh. The surrounding orcs looked at them in amazement. This snake pillar more than 10 meters high, Telos had a cold, beautiful face. Turn a blind eye to the sight of the beasts. Dillis enjoys the stillness of the sky. Because only half of the shoulder can be used. Dillis keeps her center of gravity, sitting with a slender waist crooked. Accidentally, showing off their mature waist and hips with sky-high proportions. Tiny, a pair of long legs has a reaction of not matching each other. Quite skinny. As beautiful as a goddess on high. This mundane little episode. The result is quite a few. It's going high. They believe that the taller they stand, the more beautiful they are. Some ride tigers. Some ride bears. Some even sit directly on their skinny heads. If you have the ability, you can stand up 10 meters tall. Haha, Dillis is suddenly in a good mood. The tired leg of lamb in my hand has also become fragrant, but obviously magnetism is smarter. They circled the sky on eagles. The wind blew their hair away. The little magnets also make happy shouts. These eagles let Dilith again. Thinking of the oolong that made a fuss a few days ago, I saw a little eagle beast taking a bath. Thinking so, his eyes subconsciously fell on the main body. Wall is clever. Hide yourself behind the other eagles. Oops, peeking sigh was found. The aura of the tail of the Telos collapse is chilly. Dinis quickly turned around and gave Tyros a hard one. The gates comforted them for a moment, and stopped looking at Lore. Sure enough, the snake's tail began to wag happily again. On the plaza, the leader Yuan Shuhutulu was wearing a red robe. Come slowly. Announce. 3 days later, the tribe will organize a team to rejuvenate, inside Garu's family. Decide for yourself which male will join the team. Of course, you can also add a few more. The leader is happy to see it happen. The single orcs use contempt. Pick out dozens of the most powerful orcs. Contempt starts tonight. The females can also come and watch. If you like it, of course you can take it home. Then it comes to the management of the team. Leader Jowly announced team discipline, and introduced the captain of the team. Only then did the wolf patriarch Dilith know. It turns out that Hutulu is not the only leader of the tribe. Under him, there are also leaders of several major recipient races in the tribe, equivalent to deputy leader. Masters great strict discipline and its extreme heat. He only crossed over the year before last. I don't know anything, Dayanji is stupid. Running out to hunt. As a result, I took off a snake skin. The skin is also cracked in several places. The whole body hurts for several days. It's quite dangerous for Dayunji to go out. Of course the female's born in the North Sea. You can go with the team. But bring significant others. Make sure you're on your way. Can be carefully cared for. To travel to Beihai or to tour with a group, of course you have to go. Decided to go to Beihai. You can go to the front to register now. Said it was registration. This is to press a handprint. There are no other symbols of identity at all. There are thousands of female families alone. Dilith looked at Yuanshu Hutulu. I doubt he'll remember. When it was Dilith's turn to register, Hutulu stopped him. Female, I thought you said you were born in the Eastern Forest. I accompanied him home. Dilith pointed at Telos. Lie without blushing. Hutulu smiled lightly. Just stare at Telos. Telos showed no weakness and looked back expressionlessly. Asuavi. He didn't seem to be doing anything, not saying anything, but Dilith has the guts. The illusion that they are fighting with their eyes. Hutulu's smile suddenly deepened. I agree with your significant other joining the team. The wolf leader stepped forward. Hutulu raised his hand to stop. Of course, filial piety deserves special care. Dilith's expression also hurriedly flashed her eyes around. But look around you and see how normal things are. The beast did not hear this. What is the abnormal reaction? Why can't you hear it? Obviously, Hutulu's voice is very loud. Don't worry about the little magnets they can't hear. Hutulu said slowly, still smiling on his face. If Dilith is virtuous now, so Hutulu will surely see his exploding scales. And threatening snake teeth. This Yuan Shao is too dangerous. Sendilis and Telos leave. Hutulu looked at their backs. To the wolf patriarch behind him. This is a female. Nice. You can let your son pursue him. Make him loyal to our wolf patriarch. Hanshu left the registration office. Delis asked Tyros just now, why can Hutulu let the orcs? Can't hear what they're saying. Wen Shao's ability is different from other orcs. They're very smart. It uses something called psychic power. This thing can do anything. Legend has it that the beast god appreciates the wisdom of the primordial beast, gives them the ability to be unique. But in order to maintain the balance of power between the orcs, deprived them of the ability to take beast form. If the other orcs' attacks are physical attacks, then the attack of the primordial beast is a magic attack. Their psychic powers can even materialize. As a defensive barrier, turn into a blade attack. Only unexpected. I can't do it without mental strength. A race that fights with imagination. Low-level orcs will be completely dominated by them. Although high-level orcs are not completely block their attacks, but it will increase with the level. More and more blocked. Dilith understood omnipotence. Then they would have become world hegemons long ago. Dilith, the whole snake is bad. This ability is too foul. Tyros held Dilith and rubbed his head. The ability to extend life will become stupid if used too much. Luckily, they have a blue bar restriction. However, in order to prevent future threats, it's better to get stronger quickly. The temperature in Dayunji is really no joke. Even if Dilith chooses the shadiest place, it's still hot to settle down. Although Tylos has been rumored, has jumped out of the iron law that snakes want to hibernate, but still unable to escape the ravages of the intense heat of the Great Flame season. Telos is listless in the house. Now they all do? Wouldn't it be more painful to go to Beihai? Dilith kind of backed out. But I really want to go. Nox was familiar with these tribal activities. Dilith simply asked Kino if it would be fun to go north. Nox remembered the oak department. The day the hunting party went to the North Sea, he looked dim and was just about to start. Mouth Dilith gets up from bed to hunt. I'm in a bad mood to go and fight the beast, Kino. Beast solver with knockout. Dilith is also eager to get stronger now. I don't know why. He is very afraid of Hutulu. Looking for some kind of smiling tiger human. Southern part of the Nuxer tribe is the famous central forest. Like other forests, the higher the level of the beast, the more I like to live in the depths of the forest. Too hot at noon. In the middle of the afternoon, Dilith just went hunting with Kino. Telos hates the heat. And because yesterday he was in charge of hunting. So today, he took the initiative to make room for the two beasts to be alone. The rules of an orc family don't need to be strict. Male orcs have a degree in their hearts. Their families will consciously abide by the rules of the family. You know, the distribution of labor. Hunting takes care of magnetism. Participate in tribal collective activities. They will all be distributed according to the principle of fair distribution. Take the initiative. It's hot. It's hot. Dilith barely thrives. It is indeed a sun. Why is there 10 heat? He lay on Kino's back every year. Kino is very distressed. Dilith, let's go back. Don't get Dilith on the back of Nox's tiger. In order to facilitate hunting, he specially changed into a short skirt. Spread your legs. The whole person is lying on Kino's back. Feet hanging on either side. I have no energy to walk with Kino. The action of swinging around. Dilith pats the tiger head. Hurry up and grab a look at Kino and run. The breeze blows. Dilith's cheeks are wrapped in heat waves. The heat all over the body cannot be relieved. Dilith is more irritable. Come to the gate of the tribe. The orc gatekeeper sees Dilith. Can't help but look. The weather is too hot. It is best not to leave the tribe. Easy to sunburn. The gatekeeper was kindly reminded into the saline. Magnetism generally does not go out. The reason is the temperature of the macrosaline. It's way too high. If not properly protected, it is easy to get sunburned or even dehydrated. Dilith's head is buried in Crane's fur. The whole person has already wilted. Let me out. I'm gonna take a cool break. Newly hired yesterday. Lori standing guard at the door today. Soon found Dilith. The impression this female gave him was too explosive. Therefore, Lori gets a lot of attention for Dillith. The temperature ratio in the cool forest, and the houses were taller. Female, I suggest you hurry home. Otherwise you will get sunburned easily, and there are many beasts and beasts in the forest. You brought only one significant other. Although Knox deliberately put it under the big tree at the entrance of the tribe to enjoy the shade. Dillith is still in the sun. He went sideways on Kino's back. Little cheeks without much meat. Stunned, he squeezed out a little sensuality. Kind of cute. Lowell crooked his head. Dillith picked the tiger's fur irritably. Head swinging around. Let me out! I want to cool off. I can't take it anymore. The orc leader couldn't twist Dillith and had to compromise. He waved to Laura, who was standing on the fence. Laura flew down and took human form. Dillith greets him. This sophisticated look let Lowell think about that day again. I blushed. Captain, you are responsible for keeping this female safe. This is also the aspect that the recipient of the leader gave to Laura. Laura is a young man who has come of age in recent years. The best talent. As a colleague, Yingshou's leader, nature is hope. The strong of the race can have offspring as soon as possible. Laura doesn't understand the good intentions of the team leader. The thought of Dillith eating a leg of lamb that day. He thought this female was simply not cute. Lori was rejected. Hold on, who just thought Dillith was cute? Adolescent beasts are really fickle. Dillith reached out quickly. Hold Lol's hand. I don't give her any chance to regret it. Thank you for your attention. Free plane, don't give it away, don't give it away. Dillith has long wanted to try it. Let's try to fly. Lore is instantly ripe. Brushed back. Turn your back and shake your shoulders. Dillith's smile gradually deteriorated. Suddenly there is a pleasure in teasing children. Apparently this snake, forget the fact that you are only 2 years old this year. No, he lived 20 years in a previous life. Psychologically, she is indeed an old sister. Out of the tribal gate, Dillith climbed down from Kino. Call down Lowell, who is flying in the sky. Lore wriggled down. Dillith shows a standard smile with 8 small white teeth. I think Filer straightened all of a sudden, can't you? Ice can only be flown by significant others. Dillith smiles. After thinking about it, he got into a fight again. If I win, you will take me flying. No way. Lol's reaction is more intense. The female is too delicate. I'll kill you! Dillith smiles more deeply. Not necessarily. Don't cry when I beat you up. Lol really lost to him. I'm really going to hurt the little magnet. The team leader must kill him when he goes back. So Lore had to run away reluctantly. I'll fly you directly. And Dillith flew up. Ha ha! Dillith screams in the air. Lore flies fast. He's trying to fly faster on purpose to scare the female. This way the female will no longer ask him to fly him. As a result, the faster it flies, the more she laughs. Sure enough, the faster you fly, the cooler you simply stood directly on Lore's back. Fly with your waist crossed majestically. Hurry up. Fly faster. Lore was scared to see Dillith stand up. Magnetic, please sit down. Be careful to fall. What is this little thing? Dillith is not afraid at all. The cold sweat under Lore came out. But he can't catch it even if he flies. The little magnet made him sit down. Just keep yourself as stable as possible. Then slowly descend. Don't fly down. Get up, get up. Dillith sat on his neck and patted the back of his head. Lori is going to be terrified by this bold female. If the female did fall, forget the team leader. The significant other of the female can eat him first. Knox is on the ground, keeping an eye on Lori, and every move of Dillith, see Dillith, even stood up from Lore's back. The tiger's eye under Kino is in a hurry. All off the ground, seeing that I can't help much underground. Kino hurriedly circled in place again. Dillith is watching from the sky. I thought Kino was bored. He was lying on top of Lori, and he was shouting to Kino, Kino, you go hunting first. I'll fly a little longer. Knox watched him relax so quickly. Forget it, Dillith is a kiss shooter anyway. This height is nothing. Although Kino turned out to be some extremely British beasts. The significant other thing. But look now, Dillith is so happy because she flew to the sky. Okay, this British beast suddenly looks very pleasing to the eye. But Kino is not satisfied. Life is already very happy. A tiger roar came from the ground. Dillith picked up Lore's fur and looked down again. A white tiger ran into the forest. Probably went hunting. Dillith turned over on the cup. Lie face up? Although still hot, but it's much better than being on the ground. Comfortable, Dillith sighed. Stretch out your finger to give orders. The small sound area falls to the ears and the tip of the nose spews a breath, as if expressing his dissatisfaction. Follow the direction Dillith is pointing. The eagle's head shakes into a rattle. Dillith thought he was afraid to go deep into the forest. I can't help it. Who said this little eagle is just a green mosquito? Dillith is very understanding. Let Lore put it at the entrance to the forest. Down to Didiri stretched. Lori stood not far from him and followed the beast. Of course, he doesn't have to be afraid of the sneak attack of beasts and beasts, mainly because the female is afraid of danger. Look around. Yeah, it's safe. Turn your head around. What a big female. In the forest, a white-haired hawk fluttered its wings. In a hurry. No. Calm down at this time. Lore transformed into a humanoid hawk. They have a dull sense of smell, but it's enough just to find orcs. Sniffed around. Finally determined a direction. Lol, hurry up and catch up. Although it cannot be transformed into animal nature, neither is Dillith's humanoid ability. The trees on the trees are towering trees. There are many vines in the forest and they are very strong. While Lori wasn't paying attention, Dillis left in front of the vines. The cool wind blows on the face. Dillis felt like she was finally alive. The scenery around me retreats quickly. He traveled through the woods. The scene. Dillis has a kind of savage hunting vibe. He can't help but whoop. Ignore the low-level beasts directly outside the forest. Dillis, go where you are. It didn't take long to see a written, fierce rabbit. Dillis swoops down. The claw directly penetrated the rabbit's neck. Dillis crouched down and turned over the rabbit. It doesn't matter if it's dirty or not. Anyway, he often does this kind of thing. Paws half melted, Dillis rips open the rabbit's abdomen. Pull out the eldest son and empty the internal organs. If you come, this is what you see here. Dillis crouched on the ground, blood on hands. Every now and then a drop. He was holding a bloody stone. Giggling. Why do you suddenly feel that this rabbit is so pitiful? Although, and this is what males do when they hunt. But I really can't bear to look directly at it. Lol stiffly walks over to meet Lol. Dillis threw the stone at him. Avenge you. Before we could shock the enemy, Leith's male-like fighting ability. Lore was insulted. He solemnly stuffed Chung-Jing back. Males can't. Female things don't want white, don't want. Dillis is very neat to turn into a essence. Put it in your mouth. Lore's eyes widened. Wait a minute. Doesn't it mean that females are very clean? Just took it out and it was dirty, wilderness survival expert Dillis said. Dirty? I'm not sick. He got up and continued looking for his prey, and the newly grown deer-eared orc. I have gained so much knowledge, and petrified in advance. Women are cold-blooded. No matter how cold-blooded the female snake orc is. The workplace is also warm, and his snake man was born with 2 cuns. Every time I mate with a snake man for a day and a night, I just feel the back is burning hot. It's hard to go hunting. Dillis completely let herself go. It's not like riding a British beast to experience the feeling of flying a plane. It's just racing in front of vines and primordial beasts. So much so that the shy British beast, and then I lost sight of Dillis. Noel sniffed around. Finally determined a direction, hurry up and catch up. Dillis, go where you are. It didn't take long to see a written, fierce rabbit. One pounces down. The claw directly penetrated the rabbit's pog. He crouched down and turned over the rabbit. It doesn't matter if it's dirty or not. Anyway, he often does this kind of thing. Talon half-beast, Dillis rips open the belly of the rabbit. Pull out the eldest son. Empty the internal organs. This is the scene that came to see. Dillis crouched on the ground. Blood on hands. Every now and then a drop. He was holding a blood-piercing sperm. Giggling. Why do you suddenly feel that this rabbit is so pitiful? Although, and this is what males do when they hunt. But I really can't bear to look directly at it. Lol stiffly walks over to meet Lol. Dillis threw Chung-Jing to him and gave you a reward. Before I could shock Dilly. Masculine combat effectiveness. Lore was insulted. He solemnly stuffed Chung-Jing back. The word of righteous words. Males don't want female stuff. No. Dillis is very neat to turn into a essence. Put it in your mouth. Lore's eyes widened. Wait a minute. Doesn't it mean that females are very clean? Just took it out and it was dirty. Wild survival experts. Dillis says it's not clean. I'm not sick. He got up and continued looking for his prey, and the newly grown orc Lore. It has been visualized in advance because it has gained too much knowledge, and Dillis was attacked by a green mosquito snake. Lore was the first to react. He was taken aback, about to go up and help Dillis. As a result, Dillis is precise. Take the 7-inch click of the mud snake. The snake is gone. Dillis pulls a green whale out of the snake's belly. Then eat. Lorcan dropped his jaw. He felt like crap. In fact, in addition to being able to fly for the Dillis sisters, night is nothing. Lore was shocked. Forgetting something dangerous deep in the forest. He followed Dillis blankly. Although he didn't know why he could follow Dillis. After all, he is just a weak green text. And Dillis? You can pinch a green pattern with a click. What should I do if I suddenly feel my neck is cold? Lore obediently followed Dillis a few more steps. Dillis suddenly stopped and sniffed around. He greeted Lore above and also neatly ascended the tree. Poor Lore. It's not finished yet. A female can kill a green-striped snake with her bare hands. This thing stupidly followed Dillis up the same tree. Dillis looked at Lore speechlessly. I've seen the kind of stupid one who was just born. Owl cubs with big eyes. Ignorant and pure. Lore's current IQ. No better than an owl cub. Dillis slapped him on the head speechlessly. Hunting? Bring lol on your brain, stupid. Although it is inconvenient for people to hunt, combat effectiveness has also declined, but it's always good to learn a little more skill. So Dillis is now very happy hunting in humanoid form. He was also not afraid that Lore would find out that he was the Holy Mercy. Once the deer shows signs of being unfavorable to him, Dillis just got him in one click. In the bushes, slowly and leisurely, a wild boar emerged. Then the second one came out. The third one, the fourth one. Except for the first body type, it's about the size of 2 kinos. The others are only the size of a kino. It turned out that the mother pig took the baby pigs for a walk, but 11 pigs. The sow is kissing. Piglets are all below green mosquitoes. Too many. The level is also a bit high. I can't wake up myself. Mies found it a little difficult. He crouched in a tree, quietly looking at the wild boar on the ground and thinking of a way, although the level of LOL is not as high as that of the sow. But Lore wasn't panicking. He can fly, but he can't run. He wanted to run. But look at the meaning of magnetism. Seems not only not ready to run away, it's about to fight. Lore is uneasy. I'm afraid this female will kill herself. He turns around. The female is carefully watching the wild boar team. Musing on what? I didn't look carefully before. Now look at this. Serious females are actually very good looking. White skin. Big eyes, clean, long eyelashes. I heard he was a female snake. So there are 2 small, round nostrils at the corner of the eye. If you don't look carefully, you might think it's 2 small moles. See that little green pig? Become an eagle and go down and catch him. Take it to the sky and kill him. I'm going to kill that sow Dilly. And Stella was holding onto Laura's arm, pointing at the pigs on the ground. Whoever kills the spirit will return to the water. How about more work? Dillis looked at him with bright eyes. Lore didn't even hear what Dillis was saying. And in love with a red face. Dilith was speechless. Slap again to hunt. Wake up, Lol finally comes to her senses. Not hard. Dillis felt that she had a hard time trusting him. This mind-wandering yin is really reliable. Move fast. Otherwise, the sow would have found you in advance. I can't start. Lore nodded stupidly again, okay? Anyway, if he fails. Dillis runs away on her own. Forget this stupid bird. Lore was slow to react. Wait a minute. Dilith is magnetic. Hunting alone is dangerous. Just about to stop Dillis. The countdown has begun quickly. 2 or 3 rushed to Dillis and jumped first. Lore bile ducks are on the shelves and follow suit. He quickened his exit. Before the sow finds out. Spread your wings and block Dillis. Immediately grab the only green stripe in the piglets. Fly into the air, plus the huge body block Dillis. Therefore, the work of the sow, the target is directly locked on Lore. Just about to bite. As a result, another Dillis fell on her back. Dilith knows the corner. Both hands reach for the sow's eyes at the same time. The sow screamed and rolled to the ground, trying to crush Dillis to death. Dillis jumped off just in time, evaded the weight attack of the sow. But he couldn't escape the collision of a few little wild boars. Lore is already holding a green mosquito. Piggy flies into the air. He looked down at Dillis under siege. Anxious. Accelerated the speed of liftoff. If you want to fall to death quickly, this little pig will help Dillis. Dillis does a side flip in place. Dodge an attack from a piglet. He climbs up. The trees on the side and those little pigs follow. The sow roared up to the sky. All the little pigs stopped moving. The forest suddenly became quiet. Dillis raised her eyebrows. You can hear it. Lol gave off a cloud in the sky. The boars are reflexively looking up. The sow's hearing is disrupted. Good chance Dillis is hesitant to repeat. Falling sharply from the tree. However, the little pigs have long been on guard. He slammed the sow open with this one hand. But he was exposed to the power of Dillis. So touched mother and son. But Dilith was just touched. Walk around the corner. He just ripped off the little boar's head. The sow came late, but it was too late. Dillis rolls over again and dodges. Another wise sound. Lawyer has flown to an altitude of more than 100 meters. He released his paw and aimed at the sow on the ground. Dropped the prey. The piglet on the ground hits the sow again. Exposed to falling objects. Another little pig was killed. The sow's roar grew sadder. He went on a rampage. Dillis deliberately made the sound. Guide the sow to hit the thick tree trunk. The little pigs follow, one after another. While they were in disarray, Lol took another opportunity to grab a piglet and fell to her death. The boars are getting angry. Start hitting trees desperately. Dillis is swinging the vines through the woods. Patiently played with the wild boars for a while, after Lore fell to the death of the last piglet. This litter of wild boars was finally wiped out by them. Dilith jumps off a tree, covered with the blood of wild boar. The stench of hunting is all around. Dillis, hold your breath. I can't stand the smell. Lol fell and killed 6 piglets. Dillis killed the sow. Killed 4 other little pigs. He went to rummage through his share of prey. Lore stood there dumbfounded. Dillis doesn't care. He picked his prey by himself. Are you really a female? Lore was really shocked. Dillis, who just missed pulling out her internal organs. Take action. What happened to grinning viciously at Lore? I've never seen a female who can slaughter pigs. Lore lost shut up. Maliu went to deal with his prey. I killed 11 pigs today. It's rare for Dillis to want to be frugal. I'm really reluctant to leave any of them behind. Plump meat. Eating helps to upgrade. Love has just swallowed that blue vein. Dillis felt her power was full and ready to explode. This is the performance to be upgraded. Of course you can upgrade so quickly. In fact, there is also Dilo, credit for the purple gold that C gave him. Once you upgrade, you can't go out for several days. Dillis really wants to bring a prey back for herself. I want this sow. Dillis tugged at his hind legs. Sure enough, humanoids can't be pulled. So he gave up. He sorted through the carcasses of piglets. In the end, I still think the sow is very childish. The news loves to watch Dillis really want to. Lol's head twitched for some reason. Sent a fierce servant and said he was responsible for bringing the prey back. Dillis immediately came to her senses. Gently help Lore expose the sow's spine. After this Lorization, you have a focus when you catch prey. So a few hours later, the gate of the Ruxer tribe. The beast of the turtle family saw a young adult eagle, holding a prey twice his own size. Fly back crooked. It's better to say right or wrong than to drag the prey back. Lore flapped her wings hard. Because the head is bouncing up hard. The prey just can't get up. A big-eyed female riding a white tiger by the ground. Cheering for the eagle beast. Team leader, you see Lore coming back with a news beast.